Honestly, I'm ashamed to admit it, but it took me 14 years to find the courage to press upload on my YouTube channel and show my face on YouTube. All that fear literally disappeared the day I pressed on upload. And what's crazy is, like I said, it took me 14 years to find the courage to do that. I want to share in this video a little bit more details on how it felt to just press on that button and get rid of all those mental barriers, and hopefully inspire some other people out there that are stopped by the same mental barriers. Because man, come on, it took me so long, and I'm both really happy, and at the same time, once I start finally doing this, like the moment I pressed on upload, I felt both like so relieved, and after that extremely ashamed of me taking so long to find the courage to do that. And it's not a feeling that I wish to anyone. I genuinely hope that most people can just get over themselves as fast as possible and start creating instead of consuming. I want to share a little bit more details on this whole situation. While making this video, my inner voice kept even telling me, like, who do you think you are? Nobody cares. Like, there's nothing special about, starting a YouTube channel. Like, you're not interesting. Nobody gives a shit. What's really funny about that is, like, while I took so much time always to figure out whether or not that voice is right, the moment I press upload is the moment I realized that it doesn't matter whether that voice is right or not. What matters is to not let it control what you want to do. Because first of all, people are busy. Like, the people that don't care are literally already gone. The people that do care, they're here. And if they want to say something bad, I'm actually pretty okay to that. Like, that's the thing about me, is actually I'm very open to feedback. But somehow there was something terrifying me about starting a YouTube channel. Let me take you back literally like 14 years ago. About 14 years ago, I was actually producing music. I was producing hip hop. Like, I was writing lyrics, I was producing beats myself, but I never had the courage to actually make it public. And even though friends of mine told me I had talent, I was pretty good at it, I never found the courage to, put it out publicly. Fast forward a couple of years, I landed in Australia, where again I wanted to start a YouTube channel. Bought some gear, started to record about life abroad, and trying to give tips to people in order for them to have a smooth journey when it comes to living abroad for the first time. I even started some kind of e-commerce platform to sell some drop shipping stuff. But again, recorded the videos, never found the courage to upload. Fast forward again, I arrive in Japan, I want to do the same thing. I started like some kind of coaching business here, never found the courage to upload videos. So I was always doing most of the work, but never found the courage to upload. This got me thinking, like, how many people out there are in the same situation where they do actually have good ideas, they do record, but they simply cannot get over themselves and press upload. I really hope that this video can help them get that little push and start, producing instead of consuming. Because there's so much stuff out there on YouTube talking about, you gotta press record, you just have to, But man, the upload button is probably the hardest one to get through, in my opinion, right? So, yeah, I really hope that more people can get started. The other thing is also that, the frustration of me not finding the courage to start this journey, at some point it just started to build up, and I convinced myself that I didn't want to do it. Because I think that's what most people do, right? If you keep failing at something, if you have to give up, it's easier to tell yourself you don't want to do it, instead of admitting to yourself that, well, I failed and I gave up. To the point where the people that know me got so surprised the day I started this channel, because they're like, this is so not you. And so I realized, like, I was hiding this so well. Like, I convinced myself so well I didn't want to do this, and I convinced the people around me so well that this was not something I wanted to do, and it was not at all in my nature, right? And so it just goes to tell that inner voice, man. That inner voice, that inner voice that tells you to not do something. And what was the trigger, I guess? The trigger has been for me that I've been taking a lot of joy to try scary stuff over the past 4 or 5 years. I think arriving in Japan, I realized that this is a country where most people are afraid of taking risks. And the fact that I don't speak Japanese, I don't have a degree, I only have like sales skills. I was like, if I really wanna, if I really want to get ahead of the crowd and tap into my potential and really achieve something in Japan, I, you know, I need to take more risks than anyone, and I need to start building up a healthier relationship with risk, which I did. I showcased it through business, through a bunch of things. I became a father as well, which was something I was so scared of. Starting a family, for example. But the main trigger when it comes to social media is that I started to write more and more on LinkedIn, which eventually made me realize that, okay, either people don't care and they just don't react, they let it go, or people react and actually it just helps me to connect to the right people out there because they understand what I'm all about. The first step for me was LinkedIn and, just writing posts. The second step that I took then was just realizing that I'm so lucky to have an amazing network and that I actually want to share more of that network to a broader audience through a podcast. And I started the podcast and then I was like kind of really happy. I was like, man, I'm finally doing this. I'm on YouTube, my face is out there. I found the courage. And then again, a couple weeks later, I'm like, dude, you're so full of shit. You're just hiding behind your guests. And so I started to talk about this to a friend and to my wife. Like, I think I want to start my own channel as well because that sounds like super scary. And so here we are, and it's been a month now, almost a month. And my relationship with this entire mental barrier is changing very, very fast. I do start to realize now that social media is really about be yourself, find your crowd, and I think it's extremely powerful. And I've been someone for the past years that rejected social media because I actually don't like it. I don't like what it does to my mental health. I know what it does to other people, the doom scrolling and all this crap. I think it's nasty. But if I get into a position where I can create and truly feel like I can be myself, I don't have to hide, I think this is pretty powerful. And so, that's why I started this channel, and I finally could find some courage to just press upload. So I wanted to share a little bit more the feeling behind it, in the hope that if I can trigger one person to get started, man, this is a win. This is already a win. If you're that person, don't wait. Just get started, because the moment you press upload, you just realize it was all just in here. Seriously, the world doesn't care, but you will. So get started. Anyway, as always, if there's still someone watching this, appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.